Green Lantern Corps, issue 12, legacy number 115, Morgan Hampton writing with Will Conrad, Jason Paz, and Fernando Pasarin on the art. What is it about Green Lantern Corps where we have to have at least 3 artists? Because it feels like that's been the trend in the last like 3 or 4 issues.
I don't know. I think I'm done with this book. It's been rough for a few issues, and throwing in multiple artists is not helping.
I've been enjoying the story. I've actually been quite liking some of the story things.
I've been finding it really hard to get into the story because of how jarring it's been with all the different artists on like multiple issues.
Like I will happily throw some crap at the different art, like how many artists they've got in each issue. Yeah. Admittedly, none have been as bad as that one issue where 2 artists were drawing an alien character so differently that it got confusing as to if it was meant to be the same character, because we had a rant about that, and I'm so happy at least a couple of comments said they were confused as well, because I was just losing my mind, like, is this meant to be the same blue alien?
Yeah, so for all of that, I don't mind the fatality stories, whatever. It's cool. I really like the squabbles between the different corps on Oa and them trying to live, and coexist. I do like that. This is.
I like both. Fatality herself is fine, but for me, it's this idea of the water being who was once from a water planet, and that's why he wants revenge. And him coming to Oa with an entire ocean planet that he's converted into, all of it being controlled by him. I'm kind of into that, and I'm also kind of into this idea of all the corps are working together. There's a diplomacy there, but the one problem with that is that Larfleeze by nature is a greedy bastard and wants everything for himself. So this issue is very much about him trying to make his move to take Oa.
Yeah, complete with an orange nuclear mushroom cloud. Which that made me laugh, to
be fair.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
he's a little scamp, that Larfleeze.
Yeah,
he's like a wet Muppet.
Famously a little scamp.
Yes, yes, he's a scamp who wants everything. So, you've got Jessica in charge of the Corps here. You've got her with the other leaders of the Corps discussing all this stuff, and they're the ones that Larfleeze tries to assassinate and then goes after everywhere else. He obviously does not succeed in killing them, but that's the idea. And then a big construct of Larfleeze starts attacking the main city where all the Green Lanterns are based. Because that's one of the things that this issue was getting into that I feel like, at least I don't remember them getting into this a lot in the past, which is the ideas of the different cities that are on Oa. Because now that we've got different corps sort of setting up camp in different parts of the world, it's like, oh, we're kind of giving names to all these places now, and I'm not going to remember them for a while, but...
I remember you guys were reading during the pandemic, you guys started the Green Lantern Mosaic book, which was about John being the sheriff on that planet that was a patchwork, right? Type deal. And from what you guys talking about that, this is what it's reminding me of a little bit. Where they're kind of touching on that this is a patchwork Oa now. It's not all just the Green Lanterns. And each of these areas kind of has its own vibe. Even the way that they, discuss it, where they're just Zara in the Red Lantern Corps base versus Xanthus, which is the residents of the Sinestro Corps. They each have their own identity, and they're feeling like a patchwork, city-state system kind of, right? Which I think is really cool.
Yeah. No, I'm digging the overall direction that it's going in here, and it makes sense that Larfleeze would be the problem one. He's the one that just because even though the other corps Sinestro, he's a bit militant, of course, and Atrocitus has got a bit of a temper, but they all have some level of reason to them. It all makes some sense.
Yeah, it's Sinestro still is just he knows what he needs to do to be successful, whereas Larfleeze doesn't care. He just wants everything, right? And do you guys think this is going to lead to an actual Orange Corps by the end, because they can't have one person have the orange energy?
No, because that defeats the whole point, right? Orange.
I think the idea in this issue that his orange energy infects others and they become greedy people. I think that's maybe the closest we'll get to an Orange Corps, is the idea that his greed is spreading to others. But I don't see that lasting into a core per se.
And I think my problem is the way I've always understood Orange is if there were someone that would get infected with Orange and became greedy as well, they'd just want to kill Larfleeze because they need all the orange energy for themselves. Right. So it would just be fight to the death. Whoever
there needs to be a
out.
way to just kind of keep him contained and under lockdown and just make sure he can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they threw him when he was in the Lost Sector, right? That's where, I don't remember that far back at this point when he got introduced. But that's how, where he's been this whole time. That's how the Guardians dealt with him. They just threw him in his sector and was like, stay over there. And the War of Light started popping off.
Maybe he needs to be quarantined from everyone else. I don't know, but like it makes sense to have this thing. And then the other part of this, of course, is the Indigo tribe, like sort of like are all meditating and see visions of this water planet coming for them. So
yeah, those guys are on an ayahuasca retreat, and it cracks me up. Like they're sitting in a cave in dead silence, tripping balls on meditation stuff, But yeah, I also like that the orange energy attaches to the Thanagarians. So now you have these orange hawk beings swooping down and attacking, which that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Thanagarians who are all refugees because Thanagar, met a demise. So, I think this book's actually a really solid like Green Lantern universe book. Like, I don't know, I think it's hitting heights of like amazing storytelling necessarily, but like, I think it's a really good home for a lot of these characters for me.
It really frustrates me because I do like all the ideas that it's doing. I just find it a chore to actually read.
I'm doing okay with that. Like I say, there was that one issue where the art was so like all over the place that it was actually making things confusing. Here, like, it's never going to win for art. Even like there's individual pages where I think this art looks quite good depending on who the artist is, but obviously it's not consistent.
I think my problem is just I find it really hard to get into an issue because every time I feel like I'm getting into the issue, there's an art switch or something like that, and it feels like there's no flow to it, and I really struggle to connect with anything that's going on. But like when I break it down and look at all the beats, I like all the beats. I just don't enjoy reading them in the issue.
You say that, and then I turn the page and I got Kaiju Larfleeze versus the T-Rex, and it looks pretty cool.
It does.
So then I quickly forget that I'm annoyed.
And then you go to the next thing, and it just looks completely different.
Yeah, I don't think it gets in the way for me quite as much as it does for you, which is ultimately why I'm able to still quite enjoy this, even with. I think it's an objectively good complaint to have, but it's not like completely destroying of it. It just puts a ceiling on the art side of it and like how much it's going to rise up until it gets steady at some point, hopefully.
It's 4 artists on a 20-page book. That's so much.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why.
I mean, it is just.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so many. Like, I get why maybe one issue was a problem and they had to like rush to get people in to finish it, but like I don't know why it's been this way for like 3 or 4 issues now.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of strange.
It's extra bad here because you've got 2 different colorists as well. So there's not like sometimes when you have like multiple different artists, you just have one colorist, so it still feels cohesive. This doesn't even have that. So there's just too many distinct different things going on. They just it feels like I say, it's so jarring for me just to try and read it. It's just an uncomfortable reading experience, despite the fact that the actual plot beats themselves are pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to keep going. Like I am enjoying reading it, but there is kind of a ceiling on kind of the rating and like how I feel about the art because of how many artists there's been in every issue. Seemingly, I mean, not since it started, but certainly the last arc or so has been kind of like that.
I think it was okay to start when it was like really heavily crossing over with the 2 books.
Yeah. It's since Hampton started getting a solo credit, and I just feel like I feel bad because the art can't be consistent enough to make the story.
Yeah, I feel like there may have been 2 artists even at the start, but then it was kind of like there was 2 plots going on, so it felt a bit more natural when it was flipping between them. You'd have like a story with John and someone, and then they'd have a story with like Guy and Kyle doing something, and like they'd be flipping between them, and it was a little bit easier to get into the groove. Here it doesn't really feel like there's any narrative reason why there should be more than one artist. So when there's like 3 or 4, it starts to really feel like we're kind of jumping all over the place. But
just doing anything to hit those deadlines and get it out on time.
Yeah, but I'm not sure why this, like, again, why is it multiple issues in a row where it's been that tight deadline-wise?
And again, like, earlier in the run, I'd have got it because it was crossing over pretty heavily with the other book. Now, delay a week or 2, is there really any real consequence to that?
I do not know. I don't know. maybe there's some wonky scheduling thing with this book where a bunch of issues were written and they didn't get the art started until much later or something. I don't know.
Late.
But regardless, that aside, I do like the cliffhanger of like this. This external threat is coming whilst all the cores are having to deal with larfleas on a like. I do like kind of what the book's doing. There's also a bit where John's girlfriend, like her wife, gets infected with the orange energy and fights him, so he has to put her into cryo freeze just to like sort of like end the fight.
He does a construct of one of the science cells that froze the rest of them. Which I thought that was very Jon Stewart, But yeah, I do like that it's Aya as well that is the one that does this her soul self to see this big, water planet heading their way. Because I do like the development that's going on with her.
Yeah, she basically joins the meditation with the Indigo tribe and sees this herself. Yeah, that's how we end the issue. So yeah. I'm still enjoying this as the second Green Lantern book quite a bit. I do acknowledge all the art critiques, but it's not completely taking me out of it at the very least. Matt, what are you giving Green Lantern Corps issue 12?
I'm gonna give this a 6.5.
And Connor?
With the caveat that I know this feels very harsh, a 4.
You're right, it does feel harsh. I'm going to agree with the 6.5 for me, which is, acknowledging all the art problems and whatnot.